Maxie, the intersection of these stories about sports and real-life events have been very interesting.
Yeah, and this one is as well, because there's one African-American basketball coach in the MIAC. He's at Macalester College. There are two African-American athletic directors at the MIAC. One is at Macalester. That means the duo is taking questions and creating learning opportunities they hope will be tools for future education.
We got a pretty special thing, I think, planned this fall that we're going to do once everyone's back here.
Abe Woldeslassie is back on campus. He is now the head basketball coach at the same place he played, Macalester College.
I went here, played here. I grew up in Minneapolis, 20 minutes away, so it's good to be back. You know, I was around the country for the past 10 years.
As he sits in his office in the summer of 2020, he has much to contemplate. The only African-American basketball coach in the conference and a native to the Twin Cities.
We love y'all.
He understands what has happened this summer because it happened in his neighborhood.
For me, it's honestly been painful, right? I mean, this is home, and I grew up less than 2 miles from where George Floyd was killed, and I was on 38th in Chicago. I grew up on 48th in Clinton.
He's not alone. His boss, athletic director Donnie Brooks, is one of two MIAC African-American ADs. He's an advocate that Division III in general needs to look inward.
I think as you look at the landscape of Division III athletics, it doesn't seem like we are very diverse, and I think the optics of that, I think the optics of the lack of diversity a student can look at our roster and say, not very much diversity, do I belong there?
That's what this summer is providing for coaches. Opportunity to discuss what has been and to do so in raw terms.
We only have 2,100 students, but students from all 50 states. This past year, we had students from 97 countries. I've asked everyone, my friends included, to step out of your comfort zone. Everyone has this comfort zone. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. Everyone's okay being comfortable. We all have to be uncomfortable.
When you have two high-profile people in your athletic department that understand that, the goal moves beyond sports to life.
For me to speak out is one thing, but what was really important for so many of my colleagues who aren't African American to speak out. And I asked them, I said, I need you right now. And so it's really refreshing.
That's what was created out of this. The destruction meant they needed to explain to parents. There is only one Minnesotan on their men's basketball team.
I'm working with 18 to 21-year-old men, right? I mean, and so we're trying to prepare them for life after basketball, and they've got to realize that they have a voice and they've got a lot of power. And honestly, a lot of times maybe adults maybe have failed them in some ways, and so now it's up for them. It's their turn to really stand up and find ways to make things better.
And when the students finally return to campus, they want them to come back with an appreciation for what that means.
I often call activism our 21st sport at Macalester, and I think those students who were in high school and who were out at rallies and out at marches, that's a part of our culture here too, and so I think it would be a great place for any student who thinks that they can change the world.
They have not made decisions on how the campus will reopen. Given their international student body, they are researching, and of course that'll be the next big decision for Macalester, but there's a lot to contemplate right now for all of them.
All right. Thank you, Maxie.